scariest sound that I know. That's one. That is the sound of a ring hitting the floor. A few years ago, I was down in Orlando on a sales trip. And if you've ever been on a sales trip, you know sometimes you go out for a cocktail and enjoy the evening with the group that you're out with, socialize, get to know them, good times. So we were out there dancing. I was doing my best moves. And maybe it was one of these, or maybe it was one of those, but I felt my wedding ring fly off my finger at 11:30 at night in a disco in Orlando that was pitch dark. How am I going to explain this one? My boss was there with me, hanging out, and we were in the same dance circle with a couple of our colleagues, and he said, "Stop everything!" Went over to the DJ, demanded he turn on the lights, and the DJ came over and said, "We've lost the ring." And within 2 seconds, somebody picked up my ring, gave it back to me, and I said, well, I'm never going to let that happen again. So let's fast forward now a couple of years. I'm working for a different company, the company I'm with now, Bank of America, U.S. Trust. We work, our main building is on West 47th up in Manhattan. If you've never been to Manhattan, West 47th and 6th right there is also known as the Diamond District. A lot of jewelry and gold and really wholesaling, big time stuff. And so I'm up there on business and we're hanging out, we're having a good time, and their dinner's over. I'm like, 7:30, what am I going to do? Oh, the Rangers are in town, go watch the Ranger game. So I go, I take the train down to the Garden, I hang out, I watch the Ranger game. Come home, it's the end of the second period. I'm like, I'll be a good boy. I'm going to go home early, I'm not going to stay for the whole third, get to bed late. And I said, let me get some water. So I go into the local drugstore in Times Square to get some water. And I walk out, it's raining, it's sleeting, it's a nasty day, my hands are freezing cold, it's really cold. And I have the water in this hand and my wallet in this hand, so I walk out of the store, and I usually keep my wallet on my right side. So I do a switcheroo. I take the bag and the wallet, and I go like right in my pocket, and the bag handle catches my wedding ring, and my hand is so slick and just so cold and kind of slimy, the wedding ring is slimy right off my finger. I say, well, it'll definitely land on its edge, right? Because now I had this been on Orlando. I know this experience. It flies in the air, ding! And so I hear it again. It goes, ding! And I see it. It's right there in front of me. But now it's rolling. And I'm like, well, it'll sit. It'll sit. And I see it going towards the subway grate. And I say, it's going to sit. It's going to sit. And then I see the lip where the subway grate's cut in. I'm like, it'll sit there. It's never. It hits the lip of that, and like in some skiing Olympian moment, it takes off. Boom! Right into the sewer grate at 11:30 at night in the middle of Manhattan. What am I going to tell my wife? I'm from New York. She's gonna. You lost your wedding ring? I swear, honey, it fell down a sewer grate when I was changing my bag hand. That's what happened. So now I know I have to get this ring back, but it's 11:30 at night, and it's Times Square. So I know now I can't mess with the grate, right? Because there's cops all over, 9/11, it's police state in Times Square if you've been up there. So it's like, well, I can't do that. And I sit there for an hour, and I'm trying to call people, and I'm like, no one's answering, it's late at night. What am I going to do? So I have to go back to the hotel room and go to sleep that night without my wedding ring. So the next day comes, I'm up early. Now, I got calls, I'm up there on business, but I'm not leaving my wedding ring down this grate. I'm going to get my wedding ring before I go home, or I am not going home because I will not be allowed home. So I'm going to get this ring. So I call up 311, and I explain to them what's happening. And they're like, well, what you want to do is go down to this subway station and file a report there, and So I do that, and they're like, okay, well now go wait there. So once again, now I'm back waiting. Now I'm starting to run late for a meeting. I gotta call my boss. My boss is like, well, are you coming to the meeting? I'm like, I can't. They're like, why? I explain to my boss what's happening. He's like, all right. My boss is a nice guy. I said, no problem. Just dial in for the call. So now I'm taking all my meetings from the sewer grate. I see a cop. I walk up to the cop, and I say to the cop, I'm like, can you help me with this? He said, well, that's really for the fire department. So I said, can you call the fire department? He said, no, I really can't. I'm sorry. So I call my brother. Now, I'm from New York. I grew up in New York. I'm Irish American. And I call my brother, who's always been up in New York, never left New York. And he's like, let me make a call. So he hangs up, calls me back a minute later. He says, nah. It's like, I don't know anybody in that precinct. I'm like, okay. So, did you ask a cop? He says. And I said, I did. There's one right here. I asked him. He says, nothing I can do. He said, let me talk. So I take my phone out, talk to my brother on my phone. I walk up to the cop. Now, keep in mind, I wouldn't normally do this, knowing New York cops, but I need to get that ring back. So I walk up to the cop and said, it's for you. He's like, who is it? Somebody wants to talk to you. He takes the phone. My brother starts talking to him. And I know what my brother's saying. Do you know this sergeant in that precinct? Do you know this guy? Do you know that guy? He's a buddy of mine, this and that. Within about 2 minutes, the cop gives me the phone back. I'll see what I can do. He walks back into the drugstore, takes out his personal cell phone, makes a call on it. 5 minutes later, a ladder truck shows up, pops that gate open, gets me the ring. I said, can I give you a couple of bucks, something for the effort? He said, no. It's on us. Thanks so much. And I put that ring on my finger, and I was like one of the Wonder Twins. I don't know if you know who the Wonder Twins are, but that's how powerful I felt at that moment. But it really, to me, is a great lesson in terms of your network and who you know and how your relationships are. If my relationship with my boss down in Orlando wasn't what it was, would he have ran up to the DJ and said, stop the presses, we need to get that wedding ring, right? And if my brother's relationships up in New York weren't as strong as they are in terms of those years of hanging out with folks and getting to know them, would that cop have made a call on his personal cell phone to get a ladder truck to come get my ring? Probably not. So even in the smallest instances, it's knowing your network, it's being good to people that can really get you the results you want. Mr. Toastmaster.